Hello, Steve Mills here, and welcome to my Results Mastery Live. We're live today on Facebook, we're live on LinkedIn, we're live on YouTube. So welcome if you're on one of those channels. You may also be listening to this on my podcast, because I'm now streaming this on my podcast as well. So we're also on, I think it's something like 35 different radio stations. We're also on iTunes, and we're live on Amazon Music. How cool is that? I think it's just amazing. You know, I've been doing this now 28 years, and I remembered when I wanted to get a message out to, 1,000 people. That involved 1,000 stamps and 1,000 envelopes, or spending a load of money on an advertising in a newspaper or magazine or something like that. And now I can do this for relatively nothing. And just for example, on my podcast, I'm getting 7,000 views or listens every single time I do this. So, this is just brilliant. I think that, the utilization of technology. However, you're not here to listen to that. What you're here to do is to listen to how to go from startup to success. And I'm going to say within 12 months. And it depends what your definition of success is, whether it's, from startup to £100 million, or, startup to get to maybe six figures in that time. But I tend to work with people who, are looking to, they're either small businesses who are now, fed up with being a really small business. They're turning over anything from 30 to about 100, maybe 200-300 grand, and they want to get bigger. Or they're also, bigger businesses, maybe 1 million or 2, that sort of level, and they want to get to the next level. Or in fact, they're startup businesses who are just getting started. And do you know what? Success is defined by perhaps getting to six figures within 12 months. So that's what I want to talk to you about. Just before I do, if I may, I'm going to just see if I can just share my screen for a second, because I want to show you something that would be of value to you. If you're a startup business or established, it doesn't really matter, but it's certainly something that would be of value to you. So let me just, where are we? Share screen there. And I want to show you, hang on, just bear with me. Bear with, caller. I haven't actually opened it up, which is not the best thing to do. So let me just open it up there. There it is. Okay, just bear with me. Hang on, is it opened up? No, I've pressed the wrong blooming button. I'm doing well here, aren't I? Right, okay, with a bit of luck, I'm there. Let's just see. Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted to show you. Okay, so this is a page on my website. You can find it under free stuff. If you go to free report and then down to Powerbase report, basically this is a really useful report that I've written, certainly for small businesses, but would also be useful to literally anyone. So you can go here and download this report, and if you get any problems with that, just get in touch with me, drop me an email, and I'll send you the report by email. So that's it really. That's all I wanted to say. So I'm going to stop sharing and come back to there. Yeah, so just email me. It's steve@steve-mills.com, and I'll send you a copy of that report. So let's get on with what we're talking about. How to go from startup to success. Now, it depends what is your vision of success. And I'd suggest the first thing you do is probably to define that. If we're going to go from here to there, we need to know where there is. And it's often the ingredient that's missing from lots and lots of businesses. They say, well, I want to be more successful. I go, well, how much and by when? And, what's success look like? Is that an extra 20 quid or an extra 20 grand or an extra 20 million? Because you might need a different strategy for those three things. So dependent on where you are, depends on, if you're a startup and you want to get to be successful, then my number one piece of advice would be to write that down. Write that down. Make it practical. Make it large. Don't again, this is just my take on it. Don't be, let's be realistic. No, let's be optimistic. Let's say, right, okay, if you're thinking, well, if I got to 100 grand, that'd be pretty good, then why don't we aim for 150 and see if we can push ourselves to do more? Because one thing I can tell you is small goals produce small actions. Large goals produce lots of action, large actions. Yeah, so let's push ourselves to do as well as we possibly could. And if we only get to 120 grand, wouldn't it be terrible? We've still done better than we were aiming to do if we were aiming to get to 100 grand. So let's push ourselves. So that said, once we know where we want to be within 12 months, the next thing to do is to think about how we're going to get there. And the truth of the matter there is, let me just say something before I talk about that, actually. The truth of the matter is that when people go into business, they often go into business because they're of a high level of expertise operationally. Let me explain. Let's say, for example, you're, you might be a consultant, and your level of expertise, or your expertise, is around HR. All right, or you're an accountant, or you're an IT expert, or if you're not in the consultancy industry, you could be a car mechanic or a hairdresser. Now, the problem with having a high level of operational expertise is that that's not all you need to be successful. And bear in mind that 80% of businesses that start this year will go bust within 5. And by the way, that's in normal times. Right now, as we all know, it's tough. So, if you don't want to be one of those casualties, then please stay tuned, because I know what I'm talking about here. So, what's the key to it then? How can you avoid being in that 80%? Well, you've got you're good at what you do. Let's just take that for granted. You're good at repairing roofs. You're a good lawyer. Whatever it is you do, you're good at. And if you're not, then you got to get good at that before you even start your business, in my opinion. But I'm assuming, like most people, you come from a background where this is what you used to do, and you're now thinking you can do it for yourself. Or this is like a hobby. I love playing tennis, so I'm a tennis coach, so I want to start my own tennis coaching business, for example. So whatever it is that you're good at operationally, there are 2 other things that you need to be good at. You need to be good at finance, managing the money. And people go, oh, I hate finance, I hate bookkeeping. I'm just going to leave that to an accountant. You know what the problem with that is an accountant will tell you how good you did last year, when the year's over. What blooming use is that? I need to know how well I'm doing now, not last year. How well am I doing? If my goal is to turn over 120 grand, then, my goal for this month is to turn over 10. Now, all right, I might not hit the 10 on the first month, and I might be by month 11 on 20 or 30 grand. But, if we just divided it up, or even said, right, 5 grand this month, 7.5 next, 10 the month after, and then growing from there as we go. But at least on month 1. And actually, if you divide that down and said, right, okay, so I need to create X amount of business per day, we can even look at it in the, a little bit under that microscope. But whatever it is for you, make sure that you know what you need to try to achieve each day. So that being said, we've got to be good at the financial side of our business. We've got to understand how to read a balance sheet. We've got to know what a profit and loss looks like and how to produce one. We've got to be fully aware of our sales and marketing and financial numbers so that we can manage that, because as the old saying goes, you cannot manage what you do not measure. Now, the other thing that you need to be good at is marketing and selling. You know, if you've never done any sales training, when would now be a good time to do that? You know, you need it right now, not in a year's time when you're going, oh, shoot, I've not done very well at this. What about marketing? You know, you cannot, and I repeat, you cannot be in a situation where you're saying, I don't like technology, I don't like email marketing. Search engine optimization, I've heard of it, but I've no idea how to do it. LinkedIn, oh yeah, I'm on there, but I don't really do very much. Not doing very much creates what? It doesn't create not much, it creates nothing. It's like joining the gym and going down there once every couple of months. You might as well save your money. It ain't going to do you any good, really. It's what you do consistently. You know, if you want to get good at sport, you've got to do it consistently, every day. If you want to get good at business and you want to have a successful business, you've got to do marketing consistently. That's really important. Having said that, so, let me take a step back. So we've got these three departments. We're going to manage the money effectively. We're going to be good at doing the work. And we're going to somehow work out how to be good at marketing this business. And to be honest, that's where all the leverage is. The difference between businesses that succeed and those who don't comes down to the amount of profitable sales that they make. That's it. Forget all these accountants who tell you it's all about cash flow. Yeah, that's important, don't get me wrong. But if you can make enough sales, you can employ somebody to make sure the cash flow is all right. You can employ a full-time accountant in your business if you needed that. You with me? The key to your success is being good at selling and marketing. Period. That is it. Okay? So, if you think about that, how are you going to do that? Well, there are three keys to selling. Firstly, number one is getting more customers. Now, if you haven't got any customers because you're starting off, that's where this report comes in. Yeah, the Power Base report. Okay, so go and download that. I'm not going to sort of talk about this. I've only got a few minutes left. So go and download this report or email me at steve@steve-mills.com and I'll send you a copy of the report. Okay, so once you've started that off, what I want you to think about is, and you've implemented some of the Power Base ideas, what I recommend you start to think about is these three keys to growing your business. One, increasing the number of customers. As I've said, if today is day one, you got no customers, you got to work on that. And there are a myriad of things you can do. There's some good stuff in the report, and I'd strongly recommend you do that. I'd also recommend that you test each and every element of your marketing. Don't just go in and start spending a load of money on stuff that may or may not work. You know, my background's, I'm from Yorkshire. We don't like wasting money in Yorkshire, and I don't want you to waste money. So look at things from you're going to measure each and everything you do. You're going to test some things. You've got to invest some time and some money in things to see if you can get them to work. And then once you've got proof of concept, you can do more and more and more of it. Now, When you get to, let's say, the second level, and the second level is where you've already got some customers, you've maybe made a start, you're maybe a few months in, you've got a few customers there, then the next thing out of the 3 ways of growing a business is to increase the average unit of sale. That's the average amount of money each customer spends each time they buy from you. And again, there are loads of ways of doing that. You could increase price, you could bundle something together, you could offer them a larger unit of sale, and so on and so forth. The third way is to increase the frequency of repurchase, so that instead of having a one-off sale, you sell on an ongoing basis. So let's say, for example, I get somebody to come and repair the roof on my house. And he comes in and, it's quite a serious repair, cost me 500 quid. The guy goes away and I don't see him again until I need my roof repairing, right? Which might be in a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, by which time I might have forgotten all about who he was and what he did. So what does he do? He comes to me, he does the roof and says, look, that's going to be £500. However, what we offer is a monthly review of your roof. We'll come along and make sure that it's okay. Or perhaps that's an annual one, and that's going to cost you X. Okay, so he's guaranteeing that work. It's like, you go to a hairdresser's. I always remember going to this hairdresser, and he said at the end of it, he said to me, "Do you know what? With your hair type, the chances are, and you want to keep it nice and short like that, the chances are you're going to need it cut again in about 6 weeks. What I'd like to do is just book you in the diary, perhaps same time in 6 weeks' time. I'll send you a text message the day before just to remind you. Would that be okay?" And I went, "Yeah. Absolutely." Now, what I tend to do is my hair grows quite long, well, for me, and then I think about booking it in. So, what he did there was really, really clever, I thought. So, definitely something to think about. Now, let's just come back to summarise this. So, we've got the 3 ways of growing a business. All these ways you need to use. If you're starting up day one, you've got to get some customers. Once you've got customers, the most difficult thing to do is to get new customers. It is easier, it is cheaper, it is more cost effective to do steps 2 and 3, sell them more, get them to come back more often. It's a little bit like a supermarket, When you're in a supermarket, you've got to get people into the door to become customers. You got to get them to fill their basket more, or to fill it with more expensive products and services, and you got to get them to come back and buy from your supermarket rather than other supermarkets at the same time. That's why they do all these loyalty schemes and things like that. So that's about it for today. I hope that was of value. One other thing that you definitely 100% need to do is you need to sign up. When you go to my website, you need to sign up to something I call my Results Mastery University. You'll see it on the banner at the top. It says University. Click on that and sign up. It's free. It's free to attend. What do you get? You get a place to share ideas with other members and myself, so it's like a community. You get a list of all the different events that I'm running, most of which are free, and you also get some free training. So it's limited at the moment. It's fairly new, but I'm adding to it all the time. So you get that as well. And also you get access to all the other members, so you can share and network and find out what they do and tell them what you do, and so on and so forth. So get yourself signed up. Honestly, it's really good, assuming you use it. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. Don't forget, every day, 12:30, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Thank you.
No.